Shalom friends, this is Jerusalem Jane with a short update because Shabbat is just around the corner. Breaking news just came out that an Israeli soldier, part of a special unit, was killed during an anti-terrorism raid in Jenin this morning. Father of 6 children, may his memory forever be a blessing, and please pray for God to comfort his family. I'm literally sick to my stomach after watching the lies and the propaganda that has been coming out of the airways of Al Jazeera since that journalist was killed in Jenin. We still don't know who is responsible for that because the Palestinian Authority refuses to make a joint investigation with Israel, and the Israeli army went out today saying we cannot determine who killed her, where that bullet came from, because we are not allowed to examine it. Today, during her funeral, you will probably see, maybe in your mainstream media, wherever you are, clashes between the people who was carrying the coffin coming out of the hospital and the Israeli police. In order to conduct this funeral in a respectful way, in an orderly manner, rules has been set, agreements between the family and Israeli police. When her coffin was going to be transported from the hospital where it stayed overnight to the church down by Jaffa Gate, there was a hearse, and the agreement was that the coffin should go into the hearse and being driven down in an orderly fashion down to the church. They broke all of those agreements. They came out carrying the coffin and they wanted to walk down to the church. On top of that, they were having a massive amount of the PLO terrorist flag, which is illegal here in Israel. This is Israel. This is a sovereign state with the Israeli flag. So Israel has said, you're not going to turn this funeral into a political event, into a political propaganda, and you're not going to show and waver flag of PLO, a terrorist organization. And that is exactly what they did. So they broke all the agreements. So the Israeli were attacked, throwing stones, and the Israeli forces were forced to intervene. Eventually, the coffin came in to the hearse, and then some people were jumping in around the coffin with a Palestinian flag. Again, the police said not allowed and removed the flag. So if you have been following this funeral, you will have seen that more than 1,000 people took part in this, screaming for the Allahu Akbar, waving the PLO terrorist flag in Jerusalem, and at some point they were pulling down Israeli flags, pulling down the national flag of the state of Israel. When that happened, I was watching on Al Jazeera, and they quickly cut into another angle not to show that. So that funeral is taking place right now. We still don't know who shot that bullet that killed her. Israel have said we would like to conduct a thorough investigation. We would like to do a joint investigation. Let's examine the bullet, because then we will know where it came from. And the Palestinian Authority are still saying no. So the IDF went out this afternoon and say we cannot determine who is responsible for this. So we will know. But as you know, the Palestinians immediately went out condemning, saying not only was this an accident, this was deliberate, she was targeted, she was executed, which is a lie. So again, if you have been watching Al Jazeera, the lies and the propaganda of the occupation is simply horrendous. So this morning, the Israeli Defense Forces went into Jenin. And again, you have to remember, many of the cold-blooded evil terrorists who have been murdering Israelis are coming from Jenin. Jenin is a cesspool of terrorists They are marching in the streets with their M16 in full military uniform. And whenever the IDF is moving in to arrest wanted terrorists, they are being fired upon. And that's what happened this morning. And unfortunately, this one IDF soldier succumbed to his wound about an hour ago this afternoon. So everything is high tense regarding this funeral. It's coming to an end right now, and we will see how all of this is escalating. So I wanted to give you this update so you know the truth. Keep praying for Israel. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem as they turned this funeral into a place where they was calling out nationalistic Palestinian nationalistic slogans and wavering, marching in Israel's capital, the PLO flag. So pray for the Israeli Defense Forces, the border police, the police who is standing guard, watching us, protecting us in this nation. And again, I want to end by saying, come to Israel, show your love, show your support. As Christians, if we don't stand on the promises to Israel and say, wow, this is God's holy land that God owns, but that he gave in a grant to the Jewish people. We want to stand with them. We want to honor them. Who will? Come to Israel. It will transform your life. I promise you. Shabbat Shalom, and may God bless you. Bye.